You know, the Hatbox Babes, they have infested Broadway, and a few look halfway neat. But the majority of these old skinny chicks look like they don't never get nothing to eat. Now, they always coming from a rehearsal, but they can't remember the name of the play because they have conquered the art of lying, and it's a new play each and every day. Now, if you're buying any kind of scotch is fine, but when this chick has the cop for herself, it's always pure Sneaky Pete wine. Well, I took one to dinner the other day. I figured I'd be nice and give her a break. And soon as the waiter showed on the scene, this old babe ordered a $5 steak. So I straightened her out very quickly, and I let her know I wasn't any bank. And I told her, I said, babe, if you want to be all right, you can cop you some beans and a well-done frank. And then we made it to a late movie, you know, one of the joints on 42nd Street. I figured when we got back to her pad later on, this chick would come on in real nice and sweet. I even took her home by taxi cab, you know, trying to do it up right. And soon as we stopped in front of her crib, she made her excuses, but thank you, good night. Now, some of these old babes, they make it to the east side. You know, they get cool and then they don't want to know you no more. Because the next time you run into one and say, what no, baby? This old babe gets stuck up to the pure natural core. And I asked one for my $10, and she looked at me like I was loco in the head. I said, look, baby, I don't want to marry you. All I want is my bread. So the boob, you know, the one she had with her, he just arrived in the big town that day. And she used her acting ability and didn't remember, but told him to lay the 10 on me anyway. And she took the square by the arm and started swishing for the door. And so enthralled in making her exit, did you know her extra hair fell on the floor? Now, this old chick, she was so embarrassed, she was just about ready to die. But you know she didn't stop to pick it up, not with her east side guy. So every day from noon to 5, from 42nd to 59th Street, be careful of them old Hatbox girls, cause they out to greet every guy that they meet. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. The musicians have finished their gigs, and the hat check girls, they ain't made no bread, and they salty about to blow their wigs. And the Cadillac boys, they all standing round, you know, waiting for their girls and their nightly dues. But would you believe you see better fights than you do at the Garden when these girls sing the rigor mortis blues? Now there's a cop, he's trying to do his duty, trying to hurry everybody off the street so he can ease back in the restaurant and finish the free meal he had started to eat. Then there's old flower selling Susie. She's making just one more last round. But at this stage of the game, you can cop her whole basket for £1. Now then there's always some blue bloods, and they want to see Harlem and continue the fun that they've had. So the leader eases up on you and sounds you, man, do you know of an after-hours pad? You shake your head with a definite no. You even ignore the cute little frail. Cause you know this is the same kind of setup that just last month got everybody put in jail. So you quit it down to the corner to a joint noted for its ham and egg. But before you can even sit down, two cats done already laid down their bag. You finish your grease, and a cute chick shows up with an overnight bag in her hand. But she wants you to pay her cab fare because she just now left her old man. And on your way to the A train, about in the middle of the block, another friend needs to borrow a deuce to get his uniform out of her. So by the time you reach your destination, trying to read the latest news, 6 winos done hit on you for cigarettes, and one stud even wanted a pair of shoes. Well, at last you make it to your crib, watching the new day begin, and drift off to sleep with a gaslit thought, tomorrow it'll all start over again. Now, if you are just in town and want to get a round, you better take my suggestions, 'cause no matter who you are, you won't get far without you some connections. You want you a lovely mate to share a great big estate that happens to be one of your collections. You won't get romance, and you ain't got a chance without you some connections. Now, connections, they are very essential. For instance, take the Panama Canal. Now, if it's great enough to make two big oceans meet, you know it's essential to get a guy a gal. And if you write songs that you know are great, that all the publishers have rejected, man, you can have 10,000 copyrights. And do you know you can still never get connected? Now, to meet a lovely star like that girl Sherry Lamar, man, you better take this suggestion. And don't even think of Miss Flo, lest you are filthy with dough. And even then you need you some kind of connections. Say you're in politics, which is full of all sorts of tricks, you know, especially round time for election. And even a racetrack tout, he knows without a doubt that he better keep him some connections. And the boxing game, so I have been reading, they say it's connected with the mob. Now, you can be the best and withstand all kind of tests, but if you ain't connected, man, you won't even get a job. So here's a cue from me to you. If you want to save lots of rejections, money is your best bet, and it ain't failed yet, to get connections. Now I know all you folks have often said, next year will be different. I'm going to save all my bread. Quit chasing these pretty girls and talking out loud, and always trying to draw me one of them New York crowds. Going to stop my landlady from always singing the blues. And each and every week I intend to pay my rently dues. Well, for the first few blacks you do it upright. Then you wonder what is happening on the scene tonight. You lamp your bread and you ease out a pound. Now you know that's gonna cool you, 'cause you ain't going for but a round. Well, there's old Tommy and Willie and my man Cal and old Sud Bustin' Francis trying to act like she is a glamour gal. They ask you, where you been, man? We ain't seen you of late. But you must have hit the sweepstakes, 'cause you sure are looking great. Well, now you know these folks is jiving and stiffing, but vanity being your case. Yeah, everything is cool. You folks come on up and have a taste. Well, you forget about time while your friends tell you about the past, but you fail to dig that your pound has been splitting very fast. Say, who is that little chick with the hat box, you know, with the long black hair? I mean the one that's standing pretty over there. Well, man, that's old New York Sadie, and she thinks she's real wise. But I'll cut you into her if you got great big eyes. Now, after a brief bit of conversation, you find she don't drink and she don't smoke. Now, you know you gonna take this girl for the pure New York okie doke. Now, just when everything is cool and you know this is about it, up come one of the Cadillac fellas and say, all right, baby, let's split. Now everything is a drag and you ready to quit the scene, cause your pound has flown, and so has the queen. Well, about a deuce of long black and whites ago, a guy from the lowlands came to the apple. He copped him a hame on Edison Boulevard, paying those delivery dues. Everything was fine as wine until he ran into Miss Hollywood Eyes. Now, Lowland Willie, he knew his bread wasn't long enough for him to cut into this babe, so he figured he'd better lay dead until his greens got in shape. So one day while paying his gig dues, he noticed a guy that was always sharp, changed vines daily, and always had football pockets. So Willie sounded on him as to how he could make some extra bread to cop Miss Hollywood Eyes. Now, New York Billy, he dug that Willie was from Lane Junction, so he figured he'd take this boob for the pure natural pig. Well, for the next few set of sevens, Lowland Willie, he was so busy thinking about the bread that he had saved to cop his short that he failed to dig Nab had been watching him write down them extra figures while on his gig route. So one black about the Cinderella of chimes, a 200-pound cat rang Willie's ding-dong. After flashing his badge of many numbers, he explained to Willie that if his greens was long enough, he wouldn't take him to the slammer. Well, Willie gave up 5 big ones to Nab, who stepped into his waiting cab and split the bread down with New York Billy. Now, poor Willie's jeans is clean, he is off the scene, and he didn't cop his queen. A Manhattan Fable. Well, when I first moved to New York, I believed in the saying, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. But I soon found out that a guy would starve to death in this town if he didn't always keep him 1 or 2. So I moved into a block that was convenient by subway and bus to reach. And do you know the next thing I found about New York people is nobody practice what they preach. 'Cause right across the street from me, one of them old jive preachers live. And would you believe this guy done found a brand new sermon called "It is better to receive than to give." And then there's old stuck-up Lucy. She got her a muskrat coat and a zircon diamond ring. But do you know she got busted for shoplifting yesterday, and now she is very stuck up every day and pure same. And then there's a widow lady. She goes to church every Sunday, come rain or come shine. But you'd figure she had a license for dealing every Monday to Saturday in pure whiskey, beer, and wine. And then upstairs over me is two of them little old glamour jive models, and they must be touched in the head, 'cause the first thing they sound on me on the stairway was, "Daddy, have you got any bread?" I said, "Well, no, baby, I'm new in town, and really, I just moved in this block. And I'm waiting on my uncle to show to borrow me a pound to get my vine out of hock." And then there's one gigolo. He's named Willie the Weeper. He has a Cadillac of pure fire engine red. But every morning he's at my house to wash up and shave, 'cause his Cadillac also happens to be his pure natural bed. And then there's one more stud. He sells herbs and tea leaves. And you can even get the figure for a $5 bill. And yesterday this cat got a figure in Leavenworth 'cause he was selling a new Sneaky Pete bill. And last of all is my old landlady. For 8 years I thought she was nice and she was sweet. And do you know I didn't have my room rent last night? She put me out into the cold New York street. So here is a cue from me to you. If you intend to live in New York town, keep you some real long green and be down with the scene, or else you are pole house bound. Monday morning again, and you have got to make it to your job. But your over the weekend hangover has got you feeling just like you are a natural slob. And one look in the mirror, and you know this is one work week that you really should never begin. But a look at your wallet shows you that financial rigor mortis has already set in. So after a quick bird bath and a wee bit of combing your hair, you rush to the table, but there is no breakfast there. So you start pilfering your old lady's pocketbook, cursing and wondering why you ever married this lazy chick, but really it's too late now to cry. And all the way to work on a sardine-packed subway, you know that life ain't nothing but one continual drag. Especially when you had to get up and give your seat to that old beat-up hag. Now, it is very common knowledge on Monday morning, everybody's allowed a few minutes late. But Jim, you in such bad luck that the boss is waiting for you at the gate. So now your acting ability becomes very superb, and you'd even rival an Academy Award winner. But you know this old guy, he's very foxy. So you work at your job while having your dinner. Well, after the day is through and you get home, there is no hot supper awaiting you. And then in comes your wife from a social tea with, "Oh, Daddy, please forgive me." Now you're ready to go up beside this old chick's head, 'cause this is more than any man can stand. But just then you remember what the police said would happen if you ever lift your hand. So you make it down to the corner tavern with the deuce you borrowed on the gig and order up a triple E-Rini to keep you from blowing your natural wig. Well, then later on you ease back to the crib after you show that this old chick done gone to bed, 'cause you know there ain't nothing worse can happen unless you wake up dead. Now, if you've been locked outside, lost all your pride, slept in the cold March wind, then you know too what I have been through. $1 is your only friend. Now, if you've missed lots of meals, been walking on your pure heels, life is almost at an end. You better get wise and realize $1 is your only friend. Now, I used to believe in friendship and helping out my fellow man. But you know, I found out when you down and you out, a friend won't even shake your hand. So mark my word, this is the truth you have heard. When a guy says, "Loan me 10, just remember this tune or you will find out soon, $1 is your only friend." Say you've made lots of bread, became a real swell head, was the pride of all your kin, but now you are down and out. You know without a doubt some money is your only friend. Now, a friend of mine broke the bank at Monte Carlo. And pretty girls, this guy had a stable of 10. Now he is pure stone broke. He went for the French okey doke. He knows that some money is his only friend. And there was a lawyer I went to school with. He came to see me in the city jail. Well, I laid down my spiel. This guy turned on his heel. Let alone take my case, he wouldn't even go my bail. So banker, beggar, or thief, it's the same thing in the end, 'cause I found out the hard way that some money is still your only friend. Now, most of you men are very choosy about the women that you meet. Now, sometimes it's their hair, And then again, sometime it's the size of these chicks' big feet. But that ain't nothing to all the treasures these old ugly girls hold, when with a wee bit of kindness, a New York man can cop all these ugly girls gold. So if you know you're a woman as huge as a grizzly bear, she ain't got no kind of shape and very burned out hair. Now this chick, she is so ugly that she is a pity to see. Well, give me her phone number, man, 'cause she is just right for me. And if you know of another girl that happens to be the skinniest babe in town, and when a July wind come easing by, you got to anchor this old babe down. And she is so dumb she can't even count to 1, 2, 3. Well, I told you, my man, that she was meant for me. Now, I have majored in women. I have had all sorts of types. I have had the pure and the used, so you know I'm down with all the feminine hypes. But there's one thing sure, as a bee want him a wee taste of honey, is keep you an ugly girl stashed somewhere, and you will always have you some money. Well, I got me 25 of these old scarecrows, and folks, my wardrobe you really ought to see. And my bank account's in 27 figures, so how straight do a guy need to be? But you know, sometimes I get embarrassed while I am walking down the street, 'cause with a scarecrow on your arm, my man, you don't know who you just might meet. But really, folks, I'm not worried, because my wallet is very much intact. And right outside, I got me parked a brand new fire engine red, pure Cadillac. So I'm gonna let all the fools in the squares have the glamour and let them flow show all the time. And just give me one good scarecrow, man, and I will always have mine. I have a product I want to talk about. This is something that no girl should be without. It's got a lifetime guarantee. Take a look, you'll agree. I'm talking about me, spelled M-E, me. There ain't no reason for you to be alone when you can have me for your very own. Just ask your neighbor, she'll agree. There's no finer luxury than me, spelled M-E, me. Now, I'll even give a home demonstration. You'll find there's nothing like me in the land. So why be bothered with all the rest when you can get the very best on my easy, no down payment plan? Now, this is a bargain that you cannot afford to miss. And I'm ready to seal it with a great big kiss. Just think how happy you can be when your friends look and see you married to me, spelled M-E, me. You want you a guy that's gonna dress you up real fine, get you the best of champagne and wine. Say you want a great big pretty car for all your friends to see, you better get me, spell M-E, me. And you want to travel off to London and to Spain, and a maid to ease all your household pain. You want a bank account and a castle by the sea, baby, you better get me, spelled M-E, me. And I'm gonna work hard for you, baby. I'll even let you handle all my pay. And even when you get old, no glamour left, and go to mumbling to yourself, baby, I'll love you just like it was today. And you know one thing? You better get me while the getting is good. 'Cause if you don't, baby, I know plenty that would. And just think how happy you will be when we raise a family sponsored by me. Spell M-E, me.